since Facebook doesn't ever seem to, update the artificial intelligence system with all the correct pertinent information ever. I do own that company eventually, and I'm crushing them. I'm gonna rebrand Facebook. They're done. But if you notice here, Charles Portis, or Clint Portis, the Washington Redskin football player, if you look here, Charles Portis, he, I guess, is gay, and he does rape people electronically, and we had it out a few weeks ago, and then also with Justin Bieber, he makes my daughter want to be dead. He's really good at playing little girls, so that's why there's an Owen Bieber and a Portis right here, and I'll show you something else real fast. So right here, if you could see right here, it's there's an EEG. That's an electroencephalogram, and that shows your brain waves. And with technology, they could determine your toxins, your blood pressure, your ECG, your glucose, your sensor, and it could be connected wirelessly to the phone and basically over the internet. So nowadays, you could be controlled by governments over the internet. And if you notice here, these brain waves, they're in hertz, just like your television. That means they could dial in and tune into these brain waves and make you stutter, like they're trying to make me do right now, or view your brain waves. So if you look here from SpaceX, and it's gonna be hard to see, but there's a face there, and this is in the subliminal imaging that's all around us, all over the place. Watch, I'll quickly go to my Facebook and show you. I won't go to Facebook. I'll just do it a different way here. I'll just pause it real fast again. So here's an example. Like there's kind of like a face in there. I guess that's a bad one to see, but who can't see that when your camera catches it? The police officer that I was talking to the other day pretended they couldn't see that one for some reason. And this one, you could clearly see the nose, the mouth, and the eyes, and that one turned out to be an alien. It turned out to be an alien. Like once the cloud moved, continued to move right across the screen, it turned out to be an alien. But you can see I kind of resemble that person. So here we go. You could look here. So this is what they do nowadays. They could admit, like that's what would cause me to stutter. They're able to administer medication through nanotechnology now because, as you can see right here, this lady's brain is connected to a computer. She can't speak. So she's able to think, communicate with computers, but they're able to do this now with nanotechnology. And I showed all the police this. I told them that I'm a hostage negotiator in my own body, and I normally don't stutter. I spoke with them for about 20 minutes, and I never stuttered at all. I shouldn't stutter at all. Once I show the amount of technology that's needed to make me stutter, I have evolutionary DNA. But if you could look right here, like there was some sores on my foot. And this image is pretty pretty interesting because this is the exact same time. If you look at the exact same time, so it says no time to die. This is at 2:06. So this image almost looks like one of my former friends superimposed on it. And the next one, this one right here, looks more like me and it's superimposed. And this is also at 2:06. And I did that intentionally because I'm able to control the subliminal software. So, and this one's interesting here because this is Daniel Craig, and you can see how I caught it, and you can see how Pierce Bronson is superimposed over Daniel Craig in that particular video. That's Daniel Craig, not even Pierce Bronson. And these are the stocks ever since Nintendo Pokemon Go came out in 2016. I came out with this idea of a predator proximity app. And if you could see, all these stocks have a very similar trajectory because all these companies mess with me completely, like Berkshire Hathaway. And they all went up by the same percentage, basically. Facebook. Which one is this? Oh, this is eBay. This one's a little bit different, but which one is that? Disclaimer. can't even tell. So this might be a bank then. This might be a Scotia Bank. Okay, so this is Louis Vuitton, like Sephora, because what they do is they leak off me, and then my body's able to rejuvenate. So then they sell that as cosmetic companies, like the cosmetic. Same with L'Oreal, Christian Dior. So like if you notice, like my name's Christian, and they all went up about the same thing. They all went up about a couple 100% over the last 3-4 years. So if you could look here, so this is basically what happens is nowadays, since I got a GPS chip that's under my scalp, and my brain is connected with nanotechnology, but it shows how people could be connected over the internet, and right here with different sensors. So with this wireless communication, they could be controlled, and the reason why they do that is because I'm have this evolutionary DNA, and they've been exploiting my biology my entire life. And this individual here, it looks like a former friend of mine superimposed over me. And this one right here, look how much different I look. And this is a few months different. And you can see the eye move on the video there. Like somebody right now is trying to people like I shouldn't move on those videos, right? And this guy right here that's superimposed over me, he looks like he's mentally challenged. I see him in Sault Ste. Marie all the time at the bus terminal. So this is an acoustic camera where they're able to look through look through walls. And nowadays with nanotechnology, there's cameras that could look through people's clothing, even just regular eye cameras. It's a sick world. So here we go. And here's the nanotechnology. I believe in my dreams, I was integral in creating Google Glass. And now it's based on nanotechnology instead, though. And this is an individual here that looks like a guy that I went to elementary school with. His name is Bruce. And if you could see, it looks like Al Win, but it could be AI Win. So Bruce was able to skew the system of death by like this artificial death, the artificial intelligence system that wants to kill people who mess with me more or less and mess with the human race. He evaded death by making this guy die, and he's married in this case for 54 years, and that's one of those numbers that constantly are reoccurring. And I can't show you, but I was kind of stuttering because my legs were crossed, and when people cross their legs, they shouldn't stutter. And the police said he couldn't see this image of a face on in the ashtray there when I was here, and that's hard to believe. This guy right here, he's a virtuoso coder. That's what I looked like when I was in grade 12. And the author of that particular article, his name was Eric Myers, and that's my last name. So this is Haken, the king of Norway, and my grandmother looked like this man. She was a female version of this man. There's that. Okay, let's see. I resemble this man, Edward the Eighth. If you look at here's Prince Philip when he was a youth, and I'll show you one of me when I was about 19. So this is me at 19 years old, and right now I'm basically incel. It's been about 3.5 years since I had sex, but if you look at me, as if I would have any problem getting laid. And this is me right here, what I look like now. So they exploit me for my evolution, and they rape me. There's rape suits where people are able to feel what I feel inside my body. When I masturbate, other men are able to feel it, and they're monsters. And it's going to end really soon. I should have no problem meeting women. So if you look at this guy, this is the Grand Duke of Mecklenburg-Strelitz. So Captain James Cook had a kid with this guy, and if you could see, people are trying to superimpose these pictures, but there's no affinity that they would get. But I have the exact same brow bone, and I do resemble this man. And here's another one. This girl resembles my daughter, Mecklenburg-Strelitz. And if you look here, My mom looks like this individual here, and this is Princess Caroline of Denmark. Here's King Ludwig. This guy looks like my uncle, and this was his wife, and she resembles my aunt, the Queen of Bavaria. And what is it? And if you see me, like you could see the family resemblance. This is Captain James Cook, the famous explorer. So this individual right here, Shane Ronald Harden Shack. It's no coincidence that individual died because there is an app, and so that's Harden right there. And so it's no coincidence that that man died because his nickname was Shaq, and he had the last name Harden. So it's kind of hard to see, but that resembles a dog, and that's a scab that I had on my foot. It took over. You can see it right there when I'll zoom right in with this one. And subliminal detection software will view it. You can see it. It looks almost like one of those beagles or corgis. And so I had that. It cost about over $100 trillion to keep my scars going for that long because I have evolutionary DNA, and that seems like an unfathomable number, but it will be proved in the future. So here we go. So here's the electroencephalogram. So basically, nowadays with that technology that I showed in that one picture with the patent, with nanotechnology on our brain fluid, it emits all these readings, which is then converted into images. Because if you look here, science already knows all the frequencies for all our emotions, so they could prod somebody to get a different reaction out of them. And this is based on the 5G frequency. You could see that this magnesium depletion which happened on these leaves, and there's a lot of trees that are dying, and it's going to be quite noticeable this year. And this guy right here, I believe he's supposed to be Jason Sproul, and he evaded death because this guy looks like Jason Sproul. He's a pedophile coach, in my opinion, and he could try to sue me for slander. Nobody ever says anything. But this other guy, Drasp, he marijuana is legal in Canada, and this guy sold me marijuana that was laced with fentanyl. So they both tried to evade the system at that point. Oh, and here's the one I was going to show you from Facebook, but you can see this subliminal face. And recently, I went to like I said, I'm first incel. I went to YouPorn, and there was 6 videos where they made them look like my daughter on there, and I have proof. And I am king, and very soon I'm gonna have to take the law into my own hands. So once again, here's my DNA profile. As you can see, it encompasses almost the entire planet. I don't know how many times I could post this online in Canada, pretend not to be aware of this. But also right here, I'm missing some of those end loops to these telomeres, meaning I should never have gray hair. I have a few gray hair that disappears, or I have wrinkles that I wake up with and they disappear throughout the day because they register me in this profiling system just as an excuse to cause stress on my body. So my body has to heal, and then they're able to rejuvenate as I heal. And I'm gonna crush the Canadian economy, like absolutely destroy it, because I am the richest person in the world once this is said and done, and the Canadian economy is going to lose $850 billion a year because what these pedophiles that run the country do. Like, they simulate that I'm a pedophile, but they never accuse me of it. And I'm constantly online trying to destroy generational pedophiles. Why wouldn't they approach me? Because they know if once they do, I become king. Here's another image. Looks like my daughter. I'm just kind of seeing what else is here because that's a YouTube video. So, okay, so there's my mom, my grandmother, and stuff like that. My grandfather. But if you could see, like, I look like Alexander III, the Emperor of Russia. These people, it's done very soon. Like, here's another emperor that looks like me and my grandfather. So basically, I am registered just so parasites could leech off my body's ability to rejuvenate, and all these creatures are pretty much going to be gone soon from this world.